no, that is the wrong music. I was excited. I was telling you how amped I was. David, give it. You play it. I need it. Oh, there it is. That's the right one. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. Welcome in to a winning edition of the PHNX D-Backs podcast. Ski to you all. Of course, Arizona Diamondbacks win big tonight, 6-0 over the Los Angeles Dodgers. My name is Derek Montilla, occasionally known as your mayor of PHNX. This man next to me, he is the people's producer and apparently the most popular man on this podcast, according to the comments from last night's chat. It's the one and only Damon Dog himself.
Not anymore.
No, not anymore.
Yeah, the chat's over? Pissed at me. The music mistake was a big mistake.
Yeah,
it was a big
mistake. That's a big
People
mistake.
were pumped for the music. Yeah.
People were pumped. They were ready to hear that song because this is a big win, Damon. Huge win. Of course, we do have Jesse Friedman joining us from Dodger Stadium, where the Diamondbacks just beat the Dodgers and shut them out for the first time since September 2017. Damon, they also get their first series win at Dodger Stadium in 6 years. Since April of 2018, that doesn't even seem right. That doesn't even seem correct. I checked the math 3 times on it, the math, but it didn't seem like the right math because that is an entirely too long period of time considering how quirky baseball is as a game for you to not be able to win a series against a division rival like that. Like that just shows the dominance the Dodgers have had over the Diamondbacks, at least during the regular season over the last 6 years. That's something.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like there's always like a team like that in many divisions, but we kind of have the worst team in baseball when it comes to like consistently being the best team in the division. I feel like.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if there's any like sustained dominance quite like the Dodgers have had the last 10 years.
It's a great point.
So,
That's a great point. Yeah. We just give them the division. Like, I don't even know if any other division in baseball is necessarily like that, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about a win, a big win, right when the Diamondbacks probably needed it the most because things were looking bleak after that Tigers series. The Diamondbacks come in here. Like I said in game 1, they played them well in game 1. They played them well this entire series. Outside of one really bad inning for Slade Ciccone and this team, this could have been a sweep, but again, we'll take this because this is the first time again the Diamondbacks have won a series at Dodger Stadium in 6 years. First shutout since 2017. The Diamondbacks, I think, are now one of 3 teams that have shut out the Dodgers this season, which just shows how hard it is to do against that lineup. And of course, after announcing last night that Ryne Nelson wouldn't make his start today, Torey Lovullo moved some things around. He did some things, and that mad scientist, genius, insane person, I don't know what to call him, but Torey Lovullo goes with opener Brandon Hughes, who was called up today from Reno for 2/3 of an inning, and then turns to the one and only Ryne Nelson, who absolutely magically shoved, and just as most of you predicted he would, outpitched Tyler Glasnow today for the win.
We all saw it coming, Derek.
Every single one.
It was one of the more easy to like foresee things I've in baseball this season, no doubt about it. But in all seriousness, what was it? I want to just get your quote right. What did you text me and Jesse at the beginning of the game? Oh, it was, "What the hell is Torey doing, you guys?" Torey was about to put on a masterclass, Derek. That's what Torey was doing.
Was this 4D chess? I mean, in the same way the Dodgers might have picked up something on Slade in game 1 for that brief inning or whatever happened there with him possibly tipping his pitches or at least giving away something to guys on the base path. Lovullo might have figured something out about the Dodgers because he went with Mantiply in that game. Today he goes with Hughes. He turns the game over to Ryne Nelson, and Ryne Nelson, like I said, absolutely shoved today. You couldn't have asked for Ryne Nelson to go out there when, honestly, I don't want to be this dramatic about it, but Ryne Nelson's season might have kind of been on the line in today's game, and that's a really difficult task for, that's a tall task for you to have to step up and play well against the Dodgers and have that potentially be a deciding factor if the team goes with you any longer or turns to someone else from the minor leagues to potentially fill your spot in the starting rotation. And instead, you got Hughes comes in, starts the game. He bets Ohtani and Freeman before being replaced by Nelson. And somehow it all works. Nelson goes out there, he pitches 5 innings after that, gives up 5 hits, no earned runs, 3 walks, strikes out 5. He walked a fine line in several situations where, to be honest, it felt like things were about to fall apart for him. And holy shit, was he able to get out of jams while keeping the game scoreless. The rest of the bullpen keeps this game scoreless. But most importantly, Ryne Nelson just absolutely it was impressive. I mean, impressive against one of the most difficult lineups in baseball to keep scoreless, right? I'm not going to say the Dodgers have the most complete lineup, but when it comes to the top of the lineup, that's a tough 4 guys to get through. And I was honestly not even expecting Ryne Nelson to do it more than once. I thought Torey was just going to let him see that, essentially their second ABs and then go with someone else from the bullpen. And he doesn't. He sticks with Ryne, and Ryne delivered today.
Yeah, it took some guts from Torey to stick with them in some of those early runners in scoring position,
right.
1-0 outs situations that Ryne got himself in. And you said Ryne shoved, and I don't want to take anything away from him. He obviously pitched great, but he also did let out on a decent amount of runners.
Yes,
he just was really able to work out of jams. He got
big strikeouts when he needed them, and I mean, in the biggest moments in the game,
of Freeman,
huge.
And fire me up, Ryne Nelson, flexing on Freddie Freeman like that.
Oh, yeah, God,
that was pretty beast. Just the way he was able to work out of jams tonight was really impressive, and against elite lineup, probably the best lineup in baseball. So.
Carlos is right. Road Warrior Ryan might be back.
I love it.
Ryne Nelson. This is what I am talking about when I say it is easy for us as fans and pundits and gas bags like myself to talk about moving on from players when they're not performing well. And Ryne Nelson was one of those guys that became, part of that conversation. But then you see him do this against the Dodgers, and how can you ever want to give up on a guy that went out there and was able to do this in these high leverage situations, keep the team in it? The Diamondbacks won 6-0, but that was a game that was scoreless for 5 innings, right? So that's not easy for you to go out there and essentially walk that fine line like he did, and keep this game scoreless, keep the Diamondbacks in it, and allow the offense to go off and do what they did. And the offense did go off. Marte extends his hitting streak to 21 games. No surprise there. He also gets himself a solo dinger. Christian Walker hits his 14th career home run at Dodger Stadium, and he absolutely owns that building and that poverty franchise. And Corbin's triple in this game, I think it's his 3rd triple this week. Fire me up about that, because Corbin is back. He scores on a wild pitch. But most importantly, as you were telling me in our text conversation, that hit was the biggest hit of the game. Corbin's triple is what kind of changed the complex of this game. He hits a 2 RBI triple in the 5th inning. And I mean, obviously, with what the final score is, that was enough to give the Diamondbacks the win. But more importantly, I felt like that was when you just saw a change in the confidence level about this team. And again, that's what is really needed right now, considering how good we know this team can be and how bad they've been at times this season.
Well, I think I said it on yesterday's show, Derek, to you, and I believe I was saying that if we won this game, if we could find a way to steal this game, I was back in on this team. That was all it took. Beat the Dodgers in a series, get close to 500, and I'm ready to go back on the, going crazy for this team. That being said, Corbin kind of carrying the win to a series victory against the Dodgers. Now I'm all the way back. We're going to the World Series again. Boys, where were you when the season turned around? I'll remember exactly where I was.
We're fucking back!
Corbin Carroll's back.
Yeah.
2 good games in a row. That triple was huge in a huge moment. And then he showcases his speed to score to get that 3rd run in. Unbelievable. Felt like I was watching 2023 Diamondbacks baseball. And I love it. And like you said earlier, injected into my veins. What a win.
I love it too. Corbin in his last 9 road games has 8 hits, 9 RBI, and 2 walks. He has a 5-game hitting streak right now, and he has extra base hits in 4 of his last 5 games. So again, it's not full on Corbin Carroll from last season, but it's steps in the right direction, and he's contributing in big ways. You have no idea where this game goes if he doesn't get that triple. Of course, he also scores later on a wild pitch. But he's an incredible baseball player. He might be the greatest baseball player of all time. He made an incredible catch in center field, Damon, and he did it with a left hand full of sunflower seeds. And after he catches the ball against the wall, he just promptly tosses some seeds in his mouth he didn't go to the pocket. He didn't have them in a special
He didn't
pouch.
drop them.
No, he's just running around out there in center field at Dodger Stadium with a handful of fucking sunflower seeds. Is that not every child's dream? Like, come on. Like, this man is living his best life. And like I said, he might be the greatest baseball player to ever live. I don't know. It also might be Kevin Newman. Kevin Newman might be in the conversation for greatest player to ever live. He's hit safely now in 11 of his last 15 starts, hitting 377 in those games. So, by the way, hitting 377 in those games. Kevin Newman. I don't know. 1 for 4 tonight. Again, not the biggest part of the offense, but he still contributes. He finds a way to got on through a Mookie Betts error. So I just love what Newman brings. I feel like he is the chaos bringer this season, right? Kevin Newman is the guy that seems to find a way to get on base, find a way to do it. And that was the calling card of this team last year. And it's just great to have somebody out there doing it that way. But Kevin, we love you. Newman.
You do.
Of course, the big guys tonight that did the heavy lifting. Christian Walker, who always does the heavy lifting at Chavez Ravine. He hits his 14th home run at Dodger Stadium, 10th home run this season, 2 for 4 tonight with that home run and a double. He now has home runs in consecutive games. His 20 home runs and his 48 RBI versus the Dodgers since 2019, most in the majors of any baseball player. He's averaging, Damon, a home run every 8.9 at bats at Dodger Stadium. Every 8.9 at bats.
He owns them. He is the owner of the
he owns that property franchise. He absolutely does.
He does.
It's fantastic. But of course, Ketel Marte, like I said, he extended his hitting streak to 21 games. He also added a solo home run in the 8th inning, his 10th home run of the season. Diamondbacks now have 2 guys in double digits when they didn't have anybody before. So
what a shot.
I know, right?
What a absolute shot. Like, I mean,
it was great.
That could have that was the home run heard around the world. Just smashed off the foul pole. Ketel he's the coolest guy in baseball. That's a fact. Like, we can talk about best all you want, blah blah blah. Ketel is the coolest guy in baseball. There's no one cooler than him.
He had like a shirt like I'm wearing underneath his shirt. There's some sort of printed shirt and his jersey. I was like, he's gonna get some sort of jersey violation with the thing, right? Because he's just wearing something else underneath, just casually hitting balls in 21 straight games, just living his absolute best life. Ketel Marte, by the way, he ties Danny Batista for 4th longest hitting streak in Diamondbacks franchise history. He now only has 3 more players to pass. Right now, he is behind Tony Womack's 24-game hitting streak, Paul Goldschmidt's 26-game hitting streak, and the longest hitting streak in franchise history, Gonzo, with 30, which seems crazy, but it also seems very doable now at this point. I don't know. I don't want to even talk about it. I don't want to put any pressure.
Those all check out, right? Most of those names check out.
Those are some legends.
Goldie, Ketel Marte. But I his offense is obviously a huge story. Off the foul pole, extends the hitting streak. But can we talk about that defensive play he made?
Yes.
6th inning, 7th inning. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. We don't talk about defensive plays enough on this show, by the way. I just want to bring that up, especially lately, because this team has been making them in abundance, which, again, that's part of their DNA from last season that was missing early on this year.
I mean, Ketel like faked it like it was going into the outfield and made Teoscar Hernandez think that it was, potentially maybe going to drop, so he was going to have to run to third base. So, but then he plays it off the bounce, steps on second base, gets the force out, and then gets into a pickle with the lead runner there to get a double play in the top, the guy on second and third, hypothetically both out. What an unreal play by Ketel. And I almost tweeted it out. I feel like he's the best current player at trick plays in the league.
Well, I said it early on. Like, it's not going to work all the time, and you're going to see him do it all the time. He's going to do it, and it's only going to work 3% of the time. 97% of the time, it's not going to work. But when it does, it's magic.
It's awesome.
It's incredible when he does it.
Yeah.
And I mean,
he does like hidden ball tricks pretty frequently. Yeah, he's like a big trick play guy, and I feel like he gets like a sheer amount more than most baseball players because he just tries it all the time. But he's awesome. He's the best.
One of the greatest trick plays in history is in the movie Little Big League, where they fake throwing a ball over to get Ken Griffey Jr. at first base, only to not have thrown it and to trick him into thinking the ball went into like the corner. And, again, that's pretty much what comes up in my mind every time I see Ketel Marte do any of his shenanigans out there. And I love it. Every single time. I love it. He is the most entertaining baseball player to watch. And because he does it all with such an amount of joy, right? He always looks like he's having a fun time. He always looks like he's joking with the opposing runner or whoever he's doing this to, but it's not a joke. It counts when he gets them. And that's the best part about it. But I really feel like there is a bevy of guys we could pull from tonight, including the bullpen that continues to not only have gotten their shit together, but put their shit in a bag and know exactly where their shit is. But of course, when it comes to Kingston, well, I mean, their shit was not together, Damon, but their shit is definitely together lately, especially in this series. We're going to go over the full count for the series here shortly, but we do have to award King Snake. And like I said, it could go to a lot of guys. But after Damon and I debated a little bit about it, and then he called me a dictator. And said, it's your show. We're giving it to Christian Walker.
Yeah, guys, it's the Derek Montilla show. Welcome into the PHNX Derek Montilla show, where he makes all the decisions and no one else's input matters. Christian Walker is your King Snake.
Well, I will agree with you that and like I said earlier, the Corbin Carroll hit was the biggest hit of the game, but you can't deny what Christian Walker has done against the Dodgers. It's literally historic right now. He is the biggest thorn in the side of the Los Angeles Dodgers, and you just love to see it. You love to see the guy they hate the most be on our team. That's an honor. That's a privilege, and I'm happy for Christian Walker. Yes, Christian Dixon Walker, Christian Big Dixon Walker, to be on our team, doing it here against the Dodgers. But
14th career home run at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah,
that's so many.
That's a lot. Considering he doesn't play games there. He's not he doesn't play for the Dodgers. That's not his home stadium. That would totally be an answer if it was his home stadium. But you know what, Damon? I'm not done with them, because even though we beat them, I guess I want to throw a little salt in the wounds here. I have something to complain about. I have something to get off my chest, and it really has nothing to do with the way they play baseball. It has to do with the way they celebrate baseball. Can we throw a little shade? Do we have time to throw some shade? Let's talk about your little celebration that you guys do. This thing. Damon, do you have a picture of it? I think we have a picture of it. We see him do a lot. Yeah, this thing. Yeah. I recently found out that this ridiculous celebration that I never liked in the first place has an origin. And that origin is, in fact, from Dragon Ball Z. Now, as I sit here, Damon, in a room filled with comic books, filled with toys, filled with arcade games, I refuse to allow this team to adopt this dance that they're calling a dance, which is the fusion dance from Dragon Ball Z, and not have something to say about it. Not only do you guys look like idiots out there, which I'll say it, I'm brave enough to say it, I'll say it, but you're doing it wrong. It isn't this. What is this? The fusion dance goes like this, y'all. I mean, it's this. If you're gonna do it right. But maybe you shouldn't do it at all because you look like idiots. And this looks like a TikTok dance. It's this. Damon, can you do it back so that we're doing it too? No, you gotta go the other way. There you go. See, that's how it's done. That is how it's done.
A connected team and is a dangerous team. That was beautiful.
Yeah, well, I don't like when people do stuff wrong. And that coming from me, that's something. But thank God we have our friends at Shady Rays to help me throw shade. And I appreciate them because if you live here in Arizona and you don't have yourself a premium pair of these bad boys, I don't know. Like I said, it's like living somewhere cold and not having a good coat. It's crazy. You have to have a good pair of sunglasses when you live in a state like this where the sun is literally trying to kill you every single day, especially during the summer. Shady Rays is an independent sunglass company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. And of course, not only are they affordable, but they have the best lost and broken replacement plan in all of eyewear. If you lose or break your Shady Rays, even on day one, they will send you out a brand new pair. No questions asked, no shame. They won't heap any guilt upon you. They will just send you out new sunglasses. And we all know how easy it is to lose these things. Literally, I leave them. It's like I'm trying to lose them. You know, it's like an active effort on my part to lose them. And I have people like cashiers at places say, "Hey, sir, you left your sunglasses behind." Yeah, don't be like me. And if you are like me, this is a perfect company to buy your sunglasses from because they will make sure that you do not lose your Shady Rays. Of course, if you don't love your Shady Rays, you can exchange them for a new pair or return them worry-free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop online. Their team always has your back. And of course, right now, if you shop with them and use our promo code exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com and use code PHNX for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Damon, have you been out to Illegal Pete's anytime soon?
I was at Illegal Pete's not that long ago. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. It was last week. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on the show, but I am there so much now that there's one worker who knows me, and he hits me up with a discount, like when he sees me.
Look,
just because I talk to him, because I'm at Illegal Pete's that often.
Don't give out names, and we're fine. He's fine. He keeps that job, and everything's fine. But you deserve it. You're there a lot, right? And of course, Illegal Pete's. It's hard not to be there a lot. You probably are their best customer. They should have a picture of you framed in that restaurant somewhere, and that's because Damon knows where the go-to spot is for irresistible drinks, mouth-watering food that will fill all of your heart's desires, reverse nachos, tacos, salads, burritos, whatever you're looking for. They also have a full bar with custom cocktails, beers on tap, some wonderful beers on tap, by the way. And they're also here to bring you a win with their legendary sound check deal. Bring in your ticket stub to Illegal Pete's from any ticketed event, and you can get a draft beer or a house margarita for just a penny. Illegal Pete's wants to celebrate with you, whether it's a pregame or postgame party. They got you covered on all your game day needs. Must purchase an adult entree to redeem Illegal Pete's sound check deal. Illegal Pete's, your go-to spot for burritos, buddies, beer, and Damon. All right, so go there and buy Damon a beer and a burrito. That's pretty good, right? I'm trying to work out the even more discounts for you. Of course, we thank you guys for being here in the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do so now. Sign up for notifications. That way you don't miss whenever our wonderful shows go live. Leave us a review on the audio podcasting side. Make sure you're subscribed over there as well. We love when you do that. If you're here now, drop us a like. We appreciate that, of course. And of course, those reviews mean the world to us as well. Damon, this was a big series win for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and we have a lot of really good numbers to look at. So let's take a look at the count presented by our friends at Desert Financial Credit Union. This is what I'm talking about.
It's beautiful.
This is a beautiful set of numbers right here. Diamondbacks win this series 17 runs to 9 over the Dodgers. They out-hit the Dodgers 31-21. The Diamondbacks go 8 for 23 with runners in scoring position for a 348 batting average, while the Dodgers are held to 4 for 21 for a 190 batting average. I think it's the pitching here that's the most beautiful part about this. Obviously, the Diamondbacks numbers are definitely skewed for starting pitching, considering that 2 of their 3 starting pitchers pitched a total of 1 third inning, but still a 0.35 ERA for the Diamondbacks. The Dodgers 4.67 ERA, and a relief pitching ERA of 3.00 to the Dodgers 7.46. Now that relief pitching ERA, that's much more impressive considering the Diamondbacks once again had 1 outing of 7 innings by the bullpen and 1 outing of 8 innings by the bullpen. And I think the most beautiful part about this is that all of this was done without Zach Gallen or Jordan Montgomery being on the mound for the Diamondbacks.
Or Merrill Kelly.
Oh, well, now you just made me
That's
sad.
pretty impressive.
But yeah, you're right.
We just beat the Dodgers without our 3 best pitchers on paper pitching, or at least what you would have said before the season. I mean, Brandon Pfaadt is certainly etching into that conversation and has been better than Jordan Montgomery this year. But that feels good. I mean, that feels like the Diamondbacks of last year, where it was just finding the way to get the job done even when they, on paper weren't supposed to, finding a way to win a series and just, stretch out wins. And yeah, I mean, this is exactly what we want to see from this team.
Well, the Dodgers are a team that the Diamondbacks have always kind of stepped up for, or at least attempted to step up to, right? But
yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'm not
They
saying
try.
that they try. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's always a big series against the Dodgers. Going back to last August, the Diamondbacks played a series at the end of the month, August 28th through the 30th, where the Diamondbacks got swept at Dodger Stadium and were outscored 23-5. And since then, the Diamondbacks have won 4 of their 5 past games at Dodger Stadium, outscoring the Dodgers 32-13 in the process. That, of course, includes the playoffs as well, which we know all about that. Betts, Ohtani, and Freeman went 8 for 33 in the series with a home run, 2 doubles, and 2 walks to 242, 286, 393 slash line. And a lot of that
stinks in here.
A lot of that was done by Ohtani. A lot of that was Ohtani, right? After Freddie Freeman's grand slam in the 3rd inning on Monday night, the D-backs outscored the Dodgers 16-3 the rest of the series. So, I mean, again, I thought it was fucking loser talk on Monday to be saying I felt like the Diamondbacks played well, right? But
no,
I did feel like they played well in that game, and it was just a matter of 1 inning that really got away from Slade. I mean, a lot of baseball games are decided by 1 inning, so that's probably the reason why that felt like loser talk. But the Diamondbacks really responded well to that moment, not only in that game, which they gave it an honest, a good effort to come back and only lose that game 6-4, but then they go on to outscore the Dodgers 16-3 in the remaining 2 games of the series. And like I said earlier, they become just the 3rd team this season to shut out the Dodgers, which just goes to show how difficult that is.
Yeah, I don't think that. I mean, I feel like I'm the arbiter of what's loser talk and what's not loser talk.
That's why I run it past you. I don't run that past Jesse.
Fine.
I run it past you.
I'm fine wearing that responsibility for the rest of the world.
I appreciate
it. And I don't think that was loser talk. You didn't say, oh, we should have won the game. The Dodgers outscored us. You just said that when you watched that game, it felt very competitive. It felt like maybe we were the better team for 95% of that game.
Right.
But it just didn't. That's not how baseball works, obviously. I think that it was more just to say we're still in this series despite losing that game. And they proved us right. They won the last 2 games of the series by thoroughly outplaying the Dodgers. I'd say that they pretty much outplayed them in 3 games. And the Dodgers were probably lucky to steal one here, to be honest, based off of how the teams played.
You are an expert on another subject. You're a subject matter expert also on young Dodgers players sucking. And is Andy Pages the new James Outman is my question.
Is he cooked?
0 for 11 in this series, 4 strikeouts, 2 double plays.
That OPS creeping down to 682. Just creeping its way down to 682.
I knew you'd like that. I knew you'd very much enjoy that. Piece of Yoshi with the super chat. Thank you so much. Piece of Yoshi says, here's a fun fact. The only reason Glasnow was starting against Ryne is the Dodgers moved Glasnow up to face the Mets to avoid a sweep in April. In short, tryhards got beat by Ryne. It's a fun fact. That is a fun fact. Here's another fun fact. Kevin Ginkel struck out 2 in a 1-2-3-8 inning tonight, and that's another encouraging
We're
thing.
so back.
We need him. We need Corbin. We need all these guys to be back, but that's a very good sign for this bullpen.
You got Kevin Ginkel out there shoving and Corbin Carroll carrying the team on his back to crucial runs. This
you gotta love it. You love to see it.
I've got my love for the game back. This is amazing.
You're feeling good about yourself. You're feeling better.
Oh my God, this is the game we love, Derek.
Jesse sent us some videos from the clubhouse, so we'll get to those here shortly. I know we have a little bit more from Torey here on the game, but I did want to give just some quick updates again from down on the farm since we have a moment here. Cristian Mena, which a lot of people have asked about. It's a guy that's come up a bit, especially with the struggles of pitchers like Ryne Nelson and Slade, who was sent down today, by the way. Slade was the corresponding move for the Diamondbacks, calling Brandon Hughes up earlier today. Cristian Mena tonight for the Reno Aces shoves once again. 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 0 earned runs, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts. Averaged a season high 94 mile per hour on his fastball, and that plays at a major league level. He also tied a season high with 19 whiffs. So again, Cristian Mena, we might see him sooner than later with the way he's pitching. It might be hard to deny giving him a shot at this point and calling him up and seeing about possibly. I don't know where he'd fit in, and I don't know how much the Diamondbacks. I mean, right now as it stands, they sent out their probable pitchers for their upcoming series, and they do have a TBA following Zach Gallen and Jordan Montgomery here coming up against the Marlins. So we still don't know who's going to start there. But again, more information from down on the farm. We have Spencer Geesting tonight for the Hillsboro Hops. He went 7 innings, gave up 3 earned, 3 hits, no earned runs, walked 1, struck out 13, Damon, 13 strikeouts for Spencer. The man has a 0.66 ERA this season for the Hillsboro Hops, and has not allowed a run in 3 straight starts. So
what was this guy's name again?
Spencer, I'm trying to get it right. Geesting, it's Giesting.
I think Jacob was talking to me about this guy. He was Jacob is my source for all things farm system.
Jacob Franklin, he loves the farm system, and the man lives and dies for Diamondbacks baseball. So he is plugged in when it comes to the youngsters. And I'll tell you, man, that's something. Again, I need something to look forward to, especially when things aren't going well for the big league team. But right now, I think some of these things, like especially the way Mena's pitching, might be something that impacts the other one, so maybe we'll see him up here shortly.
I'm going to read this super chat because I feel like this is geared for me to read it.
Please do.
Bear down Ginkel and bear down Newman, go D-backs. Feels good to say.
I know.
Just the cats helping the snakes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate that. I like that. I don't hate that at all. It doesn't make me
Kevin Power
throw up a little bit in my mouth, but it's fine. Of course, shout out to OG's Brands, by the way. These are 2 fans of OG's Brands right here before you, and they have a wonderful selection of products that everybody should check out, and a wide variety of I guess effects, whether you're looking to improve your mood, whether you're looking to just chill out, which I know I very much have a problem with at times. I also very much enjoy their sleep edition gummy, which knock me out and give me the best night of sleep I've ever had. So of course, you can try all of the wonderful options they have. They have a wide variety of doses, strains, flavors. That's the most important part, which I don't talk about nearly enough because everybody wants to know about what OG's does for you. But OG's, if they were a non-medicated candy, would be the greatest non-medicated candy in the history of candies. So it's just they don't waste their time with that. They're making it delicious. You're not tasting all of the chemicals and things like that you taste in other edibles. OG's is natural, And of course, they actually have their vegan gummies, which are the OG's Naturals made with live rosin and available in a sweet clementine flavor. So to learn more about OG's gummies and where you can find them, head on over to ogsbrands.com. Must be 21 or over to enjoy, and please enjoy responsibly. Also, speaking of enjoy responsibly, there are lots of things to enjoy over at Circle K. Of course, they have that beer cave where you can go in and find yourself a wide variety of beers, including Four Peaks, which I'm drinking the new can tonight. See, this is what the new cans look like, Damon, unlike the cans we might have still in the office.
Yeah, I mean,
this is a
because
wonderful
that's on Max, though.
It's on Max. Everything's on Max. Max barely cares for us at all, but that's all.
I stopped by Circle K today.
Did you? What did you get yourself? Some gas?
I got
or did you get yourself snacks?
Buy 2, get 1 free Red Bulls, 12 ounces. Ooh, can't beat that. You can't beat that anywhere else.
You've been by the way, you've been an Inner Circle member for a long time. So, but you're a premium member. So you got your gas, you got your 5 cents off your gas, which you get if you're a premium member. Of course, if you sign up and join the Inner Circle for free right now by downloading the Circle K app, you can save yourself 25 cents off per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. So do that now. And make sure to empty the tank. You get 5 fill-ups of 25 cents off per gallon. Go there with the emptiest tank you can go and fill it up. Do it right. But you also save 3 cents off per gallon every day after that. And like I said, it does stack with their easy pay option to save you even more on gas. So make sure to check out everything Circle K has to offer. Download their app today. Join the Inner Circle right now. Of course, we are very excited to be joined one more time from Los Angeles, from Dodger Stadium, by the one and only Jesse Friedman, who may or may not still have people slamming trays and shovels behind him tonight. We'll see what happens. But Jesse, huge series win, huge win tonight, shutting out the Dodgers for the first time since 2017 and winning a series there at Dodger Stadium for the first time since 2018.
I mean, we talked about it going into this series, Derek. Like, the pitching matchups didn't exactly scream series victory for the Diamondbacks, right? The D-backs were getting Yamamoto. They were also getting Glasnow. They didn't have either Zach Gallen or Jordan Montgomery pitching in this series. It looked like it was going to be probably a rough few days at Dodger Stadium, and that's just kind of how it was going to be. But the Diamondbacks came out, and I mean, honestly, on Monday in the 3rd inning, the series had sort of started exactly how we kind of thought it might go, right? Freddie Freeman hits that grand slam. The Dodgers go up 6-1. And it's like, all right, here we go. It's going to be an interesting few days. But the Diamondbacks, as you guys might have already touched on, the Diamondbacks came back and outscored the Dodgers. I believe it was 16-3 the rest of the series after that Freddie Freeman grand slam in the 3rd inning on Monday. Just a huge momentum shift. I mean, they were able to scratch across a few runs on Monday, make that a 2-run game. Yesterday was obviously a big one with 7 runs on the board, Jock hitting that 3-run homer. And then today, Corbin Carroll comes through with the what really felt like the most important hit of this game, getting the Diamondbacks out in front 2-0. And then, of course, they tacked on a little bit from there. But yeah, I mean, the most impressive series that the Diamondbacks have probably played all season. I think this is their first series win against a team above 500. And this isn't just any team above 500. This is a very, very, very good Dodgers team. And of course, also at their home ballpark.
You know what makes me sick is you and I don't even compare notes, yet we still basically say the very same things when you hop on. And I know that's not. It's not either of our faults. It's just that we spend way too much time around each other, really, is what's going on. But we talked yesterday about Torey Lovullo making the late announcement that Ryne Nelson wouldn't be making the start tonight's game. Today, they make the move to bring Brandon Hughes up. And then Torey turns to Ryne Nelson in the 1st inning. Was this gamesmanship? Was Torey playing some 4D chess here with the Dodgers by going with an opener? What do you make of the way that the pitching obviously it worked out, but what do you make of the game plan for the pitching tonight?
It worked. That's what I make out of it, I guess.
Yeah, right? It would have gone to shit. It would have been like, "Yeah, that was terrible," and it worked. You're like, "Yeah, it's great," right? But I mean, it does feel like Torey was attempting to do something here in regards to sending Brandon Hughes out there to face those big 3 at the top of the lineup in that 1st inning. and then bring Ryne in. But then Ryne somehow magically gives this team 5 innings and is just absolutely incredible against a very difficult Dodgers lineup.
He really was. Yeah, this was a really impressive bounce back outing for Ryne Nelson, especially coming off some of the struggles that he's had his last few times out. He gave up 8 runs on 11 hits against a very not good Detroit Tigers offense in his last outing. But yeah, he really came up big today. And to the Diamondbacks' credit, this opener thing, say what you will about it, how weird it is, whether it's actually like good for baseball or not. It worked out pretty well for the Diamondbacks both times they used it. They didn't win the Monday game, but Joe Mantiply did, make pretty quick work of the top few hitters in the Dodgers lineup. And today, Brandon Hughes was able to get through those top few hitters unscathed, and it set the table for Ryne Nelson to be able to go 5 innings, but not have to face those top 3 hitters 3 times, which is what the D-backs were going after. So it worked, Derek. It worked.
I don't mean to tarnish the sanctity of this great game, but I don't give a shit if this works. I don't give a shit if Torey does it every single game. Every single game. I don't care. I know he's not going to, but I mean, this was an interesting game plan. I don't know what information Torey had that, I guess led him to this decision, but it gives the Diamondbacks their first series win in 6 years at Dodger Stadium, which that alone is a staggering amount of time to not have a series win against a division rival, especially considering how often you play a division rival, right? So is that really true? They haven't won a series at Dodger Stadium since 2017. Since April of 2018. They haven't shut out the Dodgers since 2017.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
yeah, that does kind of make. I remember in 2018, there was a period of time where the Diamondbacks just utterly dominated the Los Angeles Dodgers. I think it was 2017, like the latter part of 2017 going into the beginning of 2018, when the Dodgers were just like sick and tired of playing the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks were really having their way in that season series for a while. But yeah, it didn't exactly stand the test of time. The Dodgers have had their way with the D-backs over the last few years.
Yeah.
And I asked Christian Walker after the game, like, do you feel like the postseason gave you guys a little bit more confidence coming into this ballpark? And he said, yeah, that absolutely could. They're going to come out and be confident no matter who they're playing or what the venue is. But he's talked a
weird
lot
guy
about.
To ask that to, Jesse. I don't mean to cut you off, but of all people you could have asked that to, I don't know if Christian Walker is the exact guy to ask about the amount of success he's had at Dodger Stadium. I don't think Christian Walker has ever stepped into that building and been intimidated by that stadium, because the man is incredible. He leads all of Major League Baseball in home runs against the Dodgers since 2019 and RBI against the Dodgers. And I mean, he owns that poverty franchise, Jesse. He absolutely owns it. But we do, of course, we have more from Torey here in the game. What did Torey have to say here after the game?
Yeah, this is just Torey's initial comments. You might be able to hear it, but this is I think Todd Walsh opens it by asking about how quiet it was here at Dodger Stadium tonight.
A real quietness flowing from, didn't it? It did. The Dodgers are a good team, and we came in tonight and won a series. And we deserved what we got today. We played a good baseball game. Anytime you can quiet the Dodger crowd, it's a nice feeling.
Was this start just like last night, pitching?
I think so. Yeah, I think there was a couple key situations where Nelly had his back against the wall. Remember some strikeouts with men at third base and less than 2 outs. And he just did a really nice job of attacking the zone, stepping back off the mound and making pitches after that. And then it was really nice to be able to line up the guys the way we did. I thought J Mart was fantastic. Joe, I'm going to throw Joe every day for the rest of the year. But it was just a really nice day all the way around. It was situational hitting, it was slug, it was getting on base. Corbin's huge knock. It was a great day for us.
And Mantiply's pitch count on Ohtani to go up.
Joe, I don't know if I wanted to throw Joe out there every single day. I won't lie. I mean,
It's
he's been well lately, though. He really turned things around over his last 5 or 6 outings.
Yeah, this was 4 out of 5 for Joe Mantiply, which is something that you don't really ever do. Like I don't know how many times I've actually seen that. But yeah, again, it worked. And Joe only needed to throw 1 pitch in this game. He threw 1 pitch to Shohei Ohtani and got him to ground out, I believe.
That works.
And a lot of his outings, to be fair, have been very, very short. I mean, a lot of these outings, he's thrown like 5 or 6 pitches or something like that. So this isn't quite as dangerous of a 4 out of 5 as you might see with other pitchers. But yeah, you can hear Torey there just satisfied with a game that was well played in really all facets for the Diamondbacks.
Well, and he said, obviously the offense is great. It's great to have a night offensively like they had. It's great to have Christian Walker have the success he's had at Dodger Stadium. However, it's the pitching, and it's the fact that they were able to hold this team scoreless tonight and get that out of Ryne Nelson. Again, we put up the count for this series, and the Diamondbacks were able to do what they did with no Zach Gallen and no Jordan Montgomery going in the series against the Dodgers. And I know the numbers are a bit skewed considering that the bullpen starts or the openers kind of make.
Did you for the starting pitcher ERA? Did you do Brandon Hughes and Joe Mantiply?
I have no choice. That's what I have to do. It's what my nature says that I have to do. But I mean, even if otherwise, I mean, Slade's numbers didn't look great, but Ryne Nelson's numbers today looked incredible. 5 hits, no earned runs in 5 innings. I know he got into a little bit of hot water, but I think that might have been the most impressive part of his outing is the fact that when Ryne Nelson did get himself into some situations where it looked like it was inevitable the Dodgers were going to score, he found a way out of it.
Yeah, he really did. Just looking through my notes here, the Dodgers had there was a leadoff walk in the 2nd inning. He was able to work around that, didn't allow another base runner the rest of that frame. In the 3rd inning, a 1-out double by Mookie Betts with with Ohtani and Freeman coming up, and he retired both of those guys. In the 4th inning, you had runners 2 on with 1 out. And then in the 5th inning, you had 1st and 2nd with nobody out. And then in the 6th inning, 1st and 2nd, nobody out. And Ryne Nelson got Andy Pages to hit a little flare that, Ketel Marte made a nice savvy play, was able to turn a double play on that. So, yeah, Ryne just time and time again was able to deliver in those tight situations. And I believe the Dodgers were 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position in this game against Nelson, which is obviously hugely impressive, especially given that a lot of those at-bats were Ohtani, were Freeman coming up in the biggest moments.
And I honestly, I think that, again, he had his moments where he didn't look exactly great, but I'm starting to feel like the pitchers for this team are battle tested at this point with the way this season has gone. And even when they do give up these hits, kind of like what we saw yesterday out of Thompson, where he goes out there, he gives off a leadoff triple and then strands him, right? Like, these guys are starting to not really get shook by the fact that they have runners on base, because honestly, there's a lot of situations where they've had runners on base. Like, they've been nicked up, as Torey would say, quite a bit. And I feel like this team is getting to the point where it's kind of like that I ain't scared to die attitude anymore. I've been beat up before. I've had my ass kicked. Like, this is nothing, right? So I think that's what's most impressive about Ryne is how he was able to turn around a very bad outing his last time, out and put this impressive outing up and again, have those runners on base, but, really bear down. Oh, I can't believe I said that.
Wow. You said that in front of Damon? Derek.
I hope he wasn't there. There he is. Damn it. Damn it. Get out of here. Get out of here. But he really did. He locked in right in those moments. I'll use another word so that doesn't happen again. But he locked in those moments. And I think, again, that's that might just come from, what he has gone through this season, which is, that's what experience can do for you.
Yeah, we actually have some footage of Ryne Nelson talking after this game. He was asked about the impact of coming out of the bullpen, as well as just what made him so effective in this one. Here's what he had to say.
The role, no. I think there's pretty minor adjustment of just when I would go out there and get loose and everything. I mean, I pitched out of the pen towards the back end of last year too and had some similar situations like that. But more so just the pitch mix, locations, and everything. That was the big adjustment moving into this one. And I think that there's still definitely some room to improve on that. And but I think that those things are what helped me get out of some tight jams today.
What were those adjustments?
Just trying to limit the predictability and the overuse of certain pitches and spots, and kind of just letting my pitches work off of each other.
He was hitting the corners today, Jesse. He had some great pitches in like 2-2 counts where he froze a batter or two there. Like, again, I think that's that predictability he's talking about. I think that does become a bit formulaic when you as a pitcher go up. You know, you're up in the account or in the count. You come in, you're up 1-2, and you're gonna basically throw stuff outside of the zone to get them to swing at a bad pitch the majority of the rest of that at bat. So till it's an even count or whatever, right? The great pitchers don't do that. The great pitchers just come for your throat. You're down 1-2 and they're fucking throwing fastballs high in the zone at 100 miles an hour and they don't care if you swing or don't swing at it. They're going to get you out, right? So like Ryne Nelson had some confidence in his pitches tonight, and I think that was because his command was working really well for him.
Yeah, I think tonight was kind of just a reminder of how dominant Ryne Nelson's fastball can be. The Dodgers did not have a base hit on a Ryne Nelson four-seamer until I believe it was the sixth inning. His final right before he came out of this game. He came up a couple of singles, neither of which were hit all that hard. So yeah, that four-seamer is just an absolutely electric pitch. And does he have a wipeout breaking ball to go with it? No, not really. The cutter has proven to be a pitch that at least tunnels well with the fastball, that pairs well with it, and can get some soft contact, can get some, even if guys aren't whiffing at it, can still be turned into outs. But at the end of the day, for Ryne, like when he's out there at his best, it's because his four-seam fastball, he's running his four-seam fastball right by guys, and you saw that a number of times in this game.
How frustrating is it, Jesse, for him to have an outing like this when he is struggling, right? Like, that's the thing that at times has to be, and I talked about this earlier before you joined us, that has to be so frustrating for an organization, because you see a guy go out there and do this and you believe in them. You believe in their ability to pitch. You believe in them as a starting pitcher, especially considering he was able to do it against this lineup for 5 innings, right? But at the same time, it's the consistency, and it just hasn't been there with Ryne, especially with his limited arsenal, right? If he's not hitting those corners, if he's not in command of that fastball and placing it where he wants to put it, then he really doesn't have much else left. And I feel like that's kind of the two sides of Ryne Nelson.
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, as impressive as this outing was, like Ryne still has a lot to prove moving forward, right? I mean, his ERA still isn't real pretty, and he still has to show that he can do this not just once every 3 or 4 outings, but that he can go out and do this regularly. But coming out and doing it against a team as good as the Los Angeles Dodgers is a pretty darn good starting point.
Well, of course, Corbin Carroll had the biggest hit of the night, like you said. It really did break things open. I mean, the other hits were nice, but that was enough to win the game with the way that the Diamondbacks bullpen and Ryne Nelson were able to hold the Dodgers scoreless. But it is starting to feel more and more like Corbin is getting his swing back. We're seeing some really big hits. He's had 3 triples this week, 4 extra base hits in his last 5 games. He's just really been putting it together. It's not all in one night, and it's not really a super impressive line at times, right? A lot of times he's just getting 1 hit in a game or whatever, but
yeah,
it does feel like he continues to make those steps in the right direction. And we've talked about it. Like we've probably used that phrase about Corbin for the last 3 weeks, like continuing to make steps in the right direction, but it's just encouraging. It's slow. The progress is very slow, but it is encouraging, especially what we've seen this last week.
It is, yeah. I mean, from the outsider's perspective, it's definitely felt like Corbin has. I don't necessarily want to say turned a corner yet, but trending in the right direction at the very least. And Corbin was asked about that after the game. Like, it seems like you've had at least around about one really good swing in every game, and it has to make you feel like you're in a better place. And we have a clip of that. Corbin, as you can see here, is he's happy that things are trending in the right direction, but he's still not quite where he wants to be.
He's not satisfied with where he's at yet. That's for sure. All right. Yeah. Here's what Corbin had to say.
Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily say that I feel that yet. But it feels good to know that maybe it feels like I'm on the right track. But, like you said, I really would love it to be a lot more consistent.
I know you talked about the swing being a little bit flatter than you'd like it to be at one point.
Yeah.
Is that something that you feel like has kind of trended in a positive direction in the last week or two?
Yeah, again, we've got a great staff here, and the hitting staff is no exception. We've got, the group here, and that's been helping me daily. And then, guys back in Arizona who are sending me data, and we're tracking it. And so just seeing a lot more positive attack angles. Just some things becoming a little bit more pushed towards the mean and in a good way. So, just hope to stay on that. And, yeah.
Look, since my friend Jared was mean to me about my mustache yesterday, I'm going to say it. I don't like the goatee. I don't. And I think it needs to go.
Derek, let's keep the main thing. Corbin Carroll had a good game tonight. Can't we just be happy and talk about that? We don't need to critique his facial hair.
I can't get on. No, I just can't. I couldn't.
We haven't had too many of these good Corbin Carroll games yet. Let's rejoice as a family.
Fine. You're right, as usual. Anyway, I mean, obviously, with especially the extra base hits that he's had, the flat swing thing, obviously, still, it does feel like it's trending in the right direction, as you asked. He still seems to be struggling a bit with the high fastball and some weaknesses like that, which that part's wild considering that, like, it seems to be such a well-known Achilles heel of Corbin Carroll, and it still remains to be so effective to attack him high in the zone like that.
Yeah, that's one thing that I don't think we've really seen from Corbin yet. A lot of these extra base hits that he has had recently have been against pitches low in the zone or on kind of one of the corners. We haven't really seen him square up too many pitches up in the zone at this point. And that was a kind of a weakness for him last year too. If you're kind of poking at things that Corbin could improve at, he wasn't great at pitches up in the strike zone last season. So that's something that I think we still haven't seen. But at the same time, based on what he did last year, that Corbin can still be a really, really good hitter, even if even if he's not great at pitches high in the zone. At the end of the day, for him, the most important thing, at least in my mind, is squaring up the pitches that are in the middle, squaring up the pitches that he was able to square up last year. If he can just get back to that baseline, then he can start to, think about how to get better at some of those areas where he hasn't been quite as good at in the past.
Well, Marte's hitting streak has become the talk of Major League Baseball, as it is the longest active hitting streak in baseball. And it's starting to get to a level of importance, right? Like you start getting in the 20s and people are going to start talking, right? And Corbin Carroll had something to say about getting to watch his teammate do what he does.
It's Hell's hit streak.
Yeah, it's been kind of cool to see. It seems like very peculiar, like the fact that it has been one hit so many days. I don't even know how that's possible. It seems like every ball he hits is just hit right in the nails. So I think that's maybe even a sign of there's more to come. But it's impressive to watch, and it just makes the game look so easy.
Why is it anytime Corbin Carroll lights up with a smile about anything, I feel like the world is right, and I feel like Like I feel like everything's gonna be fine. Seeing that smile, we said that we haven't seen Corbin Carroll look like he's having a good time in interviews or on the field lately, and that smile that you got out of him by asking about Cattell, that's like a warm blanket right now for any Arizona Diamondbacks fan. But it has to be impressive to watch, right? Because it feels like Corbin Carroll hits the ball at 100, or not. Cattell Marte hits the ball at 110 miles per hour regularly, and a lot of them get caught and have no business getting caught. But that's the way it goes for him. But man, he really is dialed in right now. That it's kind of the fact that he doesn't have more multi-hit games that's more impressive, rather than it's the fact that he's had so many games with just one hit during this hitting streak.
Yeah, I could tell when he hit that homer today. I was looking down tragically. I didn't see it with my own eyes. But of course, the question is, I'm seeing him waltz around the bases. Is what was the exit velocity? Like, was it 117.5? Did he set a new? He was batting right-handed, so you never know what it could be. And I was kind of disappointed to hear that it was only 110. That was pretty underwhelming. But yes, and as people might be noticing in the chat,
the sounds are happening.
The Warzone situation is
the
returned.
Warzone.
So, yeah,
I love you're such a brave Warzone reporter, though. You stand there, you don't duck, you don't flinch. It's impressive. It's very impressive.
I think I'd make like a good like storm chaser, or like a journalist covering like really intense events. Like, I am the model of composure, Derek.
I could see you at a riot with a helmet on. Jesse Friedman,
put me on the local riot beat. That's definitely that's my calling.
Well, we know you don't lie. We know you don't lie. We know I don't lie. None of us are liars here except Damon. Damon's a big fat liar, but we also know that the numbers don't lie. So Jesse, what do you have for tonight's number that does not lie?
Tonight's number is 39. Which is Ryne Nelson's called strike whiff percentage on his four-seam fastball, of course.
Is that this season?
That is tonight. That is for
tonight.
His outing tonight.
Okay.
If it was for the season, I think Ryne Nelson would be like in the Cy Young conversation or something.
Yeah, I was.
You're right. That's a very high number to maintain. But yeah, for those not familiar, called strike whiff percentage, one of my favorite nerdy stats to take a look at after these games. It's basically what percentage of your pitches resulted in either a called strike or a swinging strike, which are basically the two best types of strikes that the pitchers can accumulate throughout their starts. And 39% is the number for exact. Foul balls are just dumb. But yeah, Ryne Nelson, 39% on the four-seam fastball in particular. That's a really big number. 30% is sort of the benchmark of like, okay, that's pretty darn good. So 39 is way up there. I think it was 8 whiffs and 11 called strikes, if I'm remembering correctly, both of which are very, very good. So yeah, it goes back to kind of what I said earlier about Nelson's fastball just being such an electric pitch that even on days where he's not getting a ton of whiffs with anything else, he can still be effective at times just because that four-seam fastball is so electric.
Well, hopefully he can keep it up. Hopefully this is a turning point for him, because this is such a weird game where confidence really means so much to you. And I mean, we've talked about momentum not really existing, right? You can put it on a team like we've seen the Diamondbacks do, 13-0, 6-0, and not really have it necessarily carry over. The Diamondbacks have an off day tomorrow before starting their series with the Marlins. You would hope, though, that now we can see the Diamondbacks carry this over into the series with the Marlins, who have not been playing good baseball. And again, beat up on a team the same way they did against the Reds, against a team right now that isn't playing good baseball, and take advantage of that. Because again, the Marlins are a team that probably won't turn it around this year, but we know what they did last year. And at any point, I'm sure they could be a headache for any team to deal with. So hopefully we see this carry over. We see the offense perk up a little bit, and we see the Diamondbacks figure out what they're going to do with the starting rotation, because right now in that series with the Marlins, they currently have a TBD in regards to the final game of that series. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Of course, we thank you guys so much for being here. You guys are the best. We appreciate it. You can make sure to follow us on Twitter. I'm at @Cap_Caveman with a K. Jesse is at Jesse and Friedman. Of course, the People's producer, Damon, is at Damon Dog. That's DAWG. We are Damon's Dogs.
Bark, bark.
Our show is at PHNX_D-backs, but of course, all roads lead to at PHNX_sports. We will be back tomorrow with a 1 p.m. show. So make sure to join at least me, because Jesse will be traveling. So I will be joined by Damon or Jacob Franklin. Dealer's choice. You guys pick. Send me which one you guys want to see as my co-host tomorrow, and then we'll make that decision based on the word of the people. And of course,
can I say
Jacob's going to lose that one?
Yeah. Oh, he does. Yeah, he definitely doesn't stand.
He doesn't have a chance.
I just wanted to say one last thing about the Cattell hit streak situation. You guys touched on this already. I don't know if you saw my tweet relating to what Ketel Marte had to say after the game, or rather did not say. So I just have to tell the people real quick. Ketel Marte declined to speak with the media after this game. We were told that Ketel Marte was not available because of his hitting streak. And for those of you who think that it is purely a misleading stereotype that baseball players are superstitious, I present to you Exhibit A. Ketel Marte refused to speak with the media because he apparently did not want to jinx himself. And not only that, Derek, but you
guys are done. Until the streak's done, you guys are done. You don't even get to talk to Ketel anymore going forward. That's the way that's going to work. I know
that very well may be the case. But as you heard, we did get some stuff from Corbin Carroll, some good stuff from Corbin Carroll. He was willing to talk about it. But Eugenio Suarez, after Ketel declined to speak about it, we went over to Eugenio Suarez, and suddenly Eugenio Suarez refused to speak about it as well. He talked about how
a fucking guy.
He said, yeah, exactly. That's how he said it. He was like, I don't want to be the guy. Like, I understand him not wanting to talk. I don't want to be that guy who goes out there and talks about the hitting streak. So he said something along the lines of, I could talk about it, but like, do I need to? And so, yeah, Gino, he still gave us a little bit. He still talked about how it's been fun to watch, but he didn't want to go too deep into it either. So a fair amount of, yeah, you had to respect it. Yeah. I couldn't be mad. I respected it. And honestly, I think it makes for a better story than if they had been willing to talk to us about it. So that was pretty fun.
They're just going to shut the whole goddamn clubhouse down until the streak is over. That's what's going to happen next.
They very well might.
Talk to any players about anything. Well, of course, we're glad you're out there. Safe travels home. Make sure to drink plenty of water. You know I'm going to worry about you the whole time. Of course, shout out to AZ Cats G for his super chat. He says, Jesse, thanks for hanging in there, loud bangs and all. A true professional. This guy that I do this show with, a true professional. Of course, we'll see you guys back here tomorrow at 1 p.m. We thank you guys so much for stopping by. We appreciate your time so much. We hope you have a lovely night. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when Christian Walker is co-owner of the Los Angeles Dodgers franchise.
We all silly like the mayor.